This video might end up being the fastest video I've ever done, and it also might be the most unsuccessful video that I've ever done. So let's go. Uh-oh. This is gonna be so bad. Whew. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This is the Storycraft Society, and this week my players absolutely made me go from left to right. It's a very common D&D thing. If you've ever DM'd a game before, you realize that your players will turn you 100% around, and what I ended up having to do was improvise a whole bit about a succubus and an incubus. So I didn't have either of those two models, and so now I'm scrapping this week to A, get those two models onto my table, and B, do all of the prep work. But that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is I bought this pack of succubi minis. It comes with 3. I couldn't find an incubi mini that I would like to have purchased. Was that English? I'm really nervous. But so what my goal is to take one of these models to be my succubus and then convert one of the models to be my incubus. Like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. This is not a tutorial video. It is I hope this isn't absolute trash video. But you all get to join me for the ride, and this either is going to work or it is not. So that's enough jibber jabbering. Let's break these puppies open, and I will start looking at them and figure out what I'm gonna do. So let's get these opened up here. These are the Reaper Bones black models, by the way, but there are 3 of these ladies. There's one kind of in like a sitting position. Also, as a side note, maybe demons don't need to be gendered. That also seems like a thing that would make a lot of sense. But this succubus is in a kind of sitting position. This one's in kind of a like sexy kneeling position, which again kind of checks out, it's on theme. And then this one is standing. So what my thought is that this is probably gonna be the one that I convert into the incubus model. I think that's gonna be easiest, although now that I look at it, it looks like this one has their hand kind of up over their chest, and that's going to be a little bit difficult to deal with, whereas this one does not. Okay, well, so I think this is the one that's going to get converted into the incubus. Oh boy, what have I gotten myself into? Real quick, here's just a little future Garmin check-in, and about halfway through this video, I kind of give up on the idea of the video. I wasn't actually sure at the midway point of this video whether I was going to even finish it or just pivot to doing something else for my video this week. The lesson that I followed inside my own head is the lesson that I encourage all of you to follow with your projects that you're unsure about, particularly things that you're doing for the first time and you've never done before. Don't quit halfway through a project. Finish it, get it done. And once you get it done, then appraise it to see whether it was worth your time or whether you should do it again. Obviously, this is Garmin in the future, and I know how the models turned out. I'll save those to show for later, but I'm really glad that I didn't choose to scrap this video right in the middle, because I thought about it. I thought about just being like, nah, I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna do some different video this week. That's definitely not the way to be. There will be another future Garmin check-in in this video for sure, but for right now, just understand that I thought about quitting halfway through this video. The video kind of feels not like my best work, but that's okay. But the thing that I'm really glad about is that I took it all the way to the end. I'm pretty pleased with the results. We'll talk about that in a bit. Back to the video. Okay, so the next plan is I found this guy, and his head position is in a very similar position to the succubi. So what I'm thinking is that if I take the succubi's head off around the neck, kind of that seam back there that I'm hoping is gonna work in my favor, I can then take his head off at a very similar angle, and then that will allow me to put it on there. I think that's my first step. So I'm gonna try that, and we're gonna see how that goes. Okay, so I feel kind of silly about not thinking about this before. I have these little like jewelry snips that I use for setting up miniatures. Probably this is just going to be really easy to just go in here and just snip. That was so much easier, boy. I feel kind of silly. Okay, let me see if I can get this cleaned up and then we'll go from there. Holy moly, using the jewelry snips was so much easier. I'm not saying this looks perfect or anything, but that worked literally 1,000 times as fast as what I had before. And now, looks pretty silly right now, but again, hopefully I'll be able to go from there and end up with something that doesn't look quite this ridiculous. Oh boy. I told you, this video might be just a colossal uh-oh. We'll see. I put a little bit of fine grit sandpaper. I gotta get this little area right there still, but to the chest. And that looks a little bit more Incubus-y. So that's cool. Again, I'm not saying that I'm a master sculptor and maybe once this thing gets painted up, it'll look like crap. But for right now, it's substantially moving in the right direction. In playing around more with the model, here is kind of where I'm at. So I think what's sad is I cut the head off of this guy for no reason because the head to me here looks too big for the body. Maybe like further away, it's not. Maybe it's just the wrong face. I'm gonna look maybe for another model and see if I can find something that works. So I did find this model that has a noticeably smaller head. I'm not sure that the face is any better. Maybe it's a little better. This guy looks kind of like not super Incubus-y. So then that would be like this. And I think size-wise that fits better. So I'm gonna try cutting this one off and then I'm gonna pull out some super glue and I'm gonna attach it to this and then we'll see where we are. Okay, real talk time. Sometimes I make videos that I'm really proud of, like that I feel like I did a really good job of explaining stuff and the experience and all that. Some videos are just real, and that's what this video is. I didn't do a whole lot of like close-ups of me, you know, gluing bits in place or anything because I had no prior experience to this and no practice with this. This was just me trying it for the first time, and the result it'll be fine for my Dungeons and Dragons table. I wish that I did a better job, or I think what I'm going to anchor this video as is this is not a tutorial video. This is just I tried it, and for my first time trying to convert a model, this is what I got. You don't have to be perfect with your things that you try for the first time either. We're all human. Except for these two, and they're demons. Future Garmin checking in here again. When I finished this video, I was kind of like,
yeah, I painted it. Thanks for watching the video.
Because to me, at that point, I hadn't painted it yet, number one. I hadn't seen what it looked like with primer or a zenithal highlight or anything on it. That was a huge, huge mistake. Just like I was saying earlier in the video, when you're doing a new thing that you've never done before, whether this is crafting or life or whatever, finish it, get to the end, and then appraise and decide if it was worth your time or not. Because once I got these all painted up, and again, let's just be very, very clear here. I gave them to Olivia to paint, and then she did her best under a very, very, very quick time constraint for her paint job. But when I gave them to her to paint, and then she handed me the final result and what it looked like, I don't think that it was a waste of time. I mean, certainly it is not like I did some masterful sculpt or something, but it's pretty good. And on my D&D table, from the distance that my players will actually be looking at these models, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And it did not take me that long to do. If I wasn't doing it on film, I think I could have done the whole conversion in like, I don't know, a half an hour or something. And then a half an hour for her to paint them up, and then they look like this. That's fine. That's fine. So anyway, finish your projects. Don't be like me. Don't get sad about them halfway through and then want to quit. Finish your projects. You'll be glad that you did. But with that said, that's all for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely subscribe to the channel. Share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. That's the #1 way that you can help a small YouTube channel out. Leave a comment down below of projects that you've done for the first time that either went really well or really bad. I love hearing those stories from everybody. Like the video if you liked it, and I think that's it for this week. So until next week, don't quit halfway through your projects, and I'll be seeing you.